Hey, good morning, everybody. How you all doing? Day 425 in the Big Brother house, or whatever it is. Oh dear. Crazy times, crazy times. I'm sure, like me, you guys are, struggling a bit at times, and finding it quite difficult. Luckily, I've got my friend Ronaldo here, Wilson Ronaldo. He's been keeping me company and giving me some excellent facts about good quality nutrition, which is what we all need these days to keep us healthy. And so I wanted to just quickly tell you a little bit about supplements, because I think there's been a lot about it recently, with everybody wanting to boost their immune system. And the first thing I wanted to say is that Emma at Lifecode Gx, who you might have heard me talking about before, one of my colleagues, she has just sent me a great paper from the British Medical Journal, which I'll attach a link to at the bottom here, which shows the direct correlation, the direct link with vitamin D deficiency and respiratory illnesses and respiratory disease. I mean, this has been known for a very, very long time, but it's just taken this COVID-19 pandemic for people to start really tuning in to the fact that it's a lack of good quality nutrition that is reducing our body's abilities to deal with infections, whether it be bacterial or viral. And so it's absolutely essential that we eat the right foods and we supplement with the right things to ensure that we are as bulletproof as possible, not just for this particular viral infection, but just for all of the issues out there that are causing us to get ill. And I'm not going to get into those now, like heart disease or cancer, but we know all about them. So I feel like the C19 has taken, has enabled us to raise our awareness and come out of this sort of unconscious state about the importance of treating our bodies well and our minds well. And that it's absolutely essential to have the right nutrition in order to perform at the optimal level, and also to ensure that we're as bulletproof as possible. So, vitamin D deficiency, a direct link with respiratory illness and ear, nose, and throat problems. Why this isn't taught in the medical community. Sorry, can't even say it. I don't know. The pharmaceutical businesses and the medical companies, they make a lot of money from pharmaceutical products, essentially. So that is why you can't patent vitamins and you can't patent food, essentially. It's why there's not much money to be made out of it. So that's one of the reasons why, folks. But anyway, so food is absolutely critical. Now, if you want to be healthy, you want to have a clear brain, clear your brain fog, and you want to perform at an optimal level, then you want to be eating a mainly plant-based diet, mainly fruits and vegetables, whole foods, and unprocessed foods. So anything that comes in a packet, essentially, is not going to be particularly good for you. It's full of chemicals, and it's had all the nutrients stripped out of it to mass produce it. Anything that comes in the fruit and veg aisle, amazing. And then you want to be eating lots of beans and lots of lentils and a lot of excellent plant-based proteins like chickpeas as well, and good quality fats. So you know where you get your good quality fats from. It's basically your omega-3s, like your fishes, like salmons, your oily fish, the smash fish we talked about here. If those of you who come on retreat here, sardine, mackerel, anchovy, herring, and salmon. Those are excellent oily fish where you can get your essential fatty acids that are really important for our brain function and multiple other things. Good quality saturated fats, like a little bit of coconut oil. Eggs are good, but not your processed fats. You can get your processed fats are really, really bad fats, like the margarines and all of the sort of vegetable oils that come in all the biscuits and the cookies and all that sort of stuff. But the simple rule is that processed food, bad for you, toxic. Unprocessed food, whole food, very good for you. And also cut out the toxic things that rob us of all those nutrients that you're going to get anyway from your food. Things that are robbing you of your nutrients and killing them off are, no surprise, smoking. I think actually, yeah, there's been loads of published papers coming out right now and science about the fact that if you're a smoker, you're in higher risk of getting COVID-19 and suffering from it badly. And the reason why is very simple. We all know is that smoking destroys about 20 milligrams of vitamin C every time you have a cigarette. And vitamin C is the antioxidant vitamin that combines the free radical and the toxin and allows it to be removed. So, you know, the more toxins you have, the less vitamin C you have. The less vitamin C you have, the more prone you are to immune system attack. So simple, really. So smoking, alcohol, I'm really sorry, folks, but if you're drinking more than a glass of wine a day, then that is robbing you of your nutrients. It's killing off your nutrients. It's toxic. It's destroying your bodily systems. So please, I know it's really hard in this really quite stressful, weird time. Try not to get into the habit of drinking every night. It is so bad for you. I used to do it when I was self-medicating in London after my stressful day at work. I used to drink every night. I now don't drink at all. It's been 2.5 years. It's just had a profound impact on my health and my well-being. So try your best with that, folks. And then stress. Stress is an awful robber of nutrients as well. So those three toxic things, alcohol, stress, and smoking, you've got to cut those out or eliminate them. And then get as much good quality plant-based produce into you as you can. Now, I also think that you should be supplementing a little bit as well. I do generally for a maintenance dose every day. And I think, people say to me as a nutritional therapist, if you're eating all the right foods, why are you supplementing? I said, well, first and foremost, the food that we're eating these days in 2020 is nothing like the food that, our grandparents and our great-grandparents used to eat. A carrot that they produced on their home plot, in the 1900s, 1920s or whatever, that soil was packed full of minerals, and it hadn't been stripped of minerals by mass farming and just masses of chemicals that have been thrown in there. Whereas now the carrot that you get in Tesco or Asda, that has been from a field that has been worked over and over and over and over again for hundreds of years. And then since the Industrial Revolution and Chemical Revolution, just masses of chemicals are thrown in there. So that carrot has not absorbed anything like the nutrients that it would have done 100 years ago. So the food we're eating is nothing like what it would have been. That's the first thing. Number two, the way we're cooking it as well, and the way we're producing it has got way less vitamins in it. We're killing off the vitamins by roasting and all the other things that we're doing to it. But also the fact that mainly it's coming in processed form, and all the nutrients have been stripped out to mass produce it. So I really don't believe that the food that we're eating these days is anything like it would have been 100 years ago. So I definitely supplement some things, and I think during this crisis it's even more important to do so. There's a couple I really want to talk about now. The first one, vitamin D. I mentioned it in the paper. You can read it below. It's a very, very simple paper. It's only the abstract, so you can just read the first part, and the second part take you 30 seconds, and you can see that if you have a level below a certain amount, then you're likely to be at risk of respiratory disease. So I should say that I've been vitamin D deficient all my life because I've got errors on my genes that I've inherited. And it's no surprise now why I had chronic tonsillitis all the way through my teens until I had them removed when I was 13. And I also suffered from low mood and anxiety and lots of other mental health issues I'm sure you guys have all suffered from too. But I've been increased exposure to it because of my vitamin D deficiency. So the important thing about vitamin D, folks, is really, really important. The first thing is it's a fat soluble vitamin. Okay, so like A, D, E, and K, they're fat soluble. It means that when you consume it, it stays in the fat of your body, and it stays for a period of time. And so, unlike vitamin C and the B vitamins, which are water soluble and you eliminate them on a daily basis, A, D, E, and K, they stay in the body, so that you can basically dine off it for a period of time. Essentially, it's why we get all our vitamin D in the summer, and then we can kind of essentially dine off it for a period in the winter, but then it gets to a point where there's none left and you have to supplement. Now I'd recommend actually during this time supplementing because you're inside the whole time, aren't you? And if you're like me, that suffer from SAD, seasonal, seasonal anxiety disorder or something like that, I can't remember, where you just feel low mood the whole time, which most of us, then vitamin D is really important. Now, under normal circumstances, what you would do is you would get a test done, and normally the NHS aren't going to test you because it's expensive for them to do that. They can't test everybody. But what you can do is you can get a very, very simple pinprick test where you just take the pin thing, you prick it, you put it on a swab, and you send it off from the post. They send it to you in the post, and you send it back to them, and you get your result within, 48 hours. It's amazing. Better You, they do a great one. They also do the spray that you just put a couple of sprays on your tongue. This is actually 3,000 IU. So I'd recommend one spray of that a day, but you can get the ones which are 1,000 IU, and with that I'd get 2 sprays, okay? So it's just a little thing, and you can get that from any health store, okay? Any health store. I don't know if it's reading properly. Oh, that's weird, isn't it? It's like reading backwards. How funny. Yeah, so vitamin D, folks. Now just remember, as soon as all this calms down, I'd recommend getting that 30 quid test, dead easy. Just check your levels and check it every year. You want to be around about, I'd say 80 micromoles per litre is how much you want to be, or a little bit more, not much more than 100. I was down at 33. So I was literally at 30 is deficient, and 30 to, 40 or 50 is insufficient. So I was borderline deficient. No wonder I, had low mood and what's interesting is there is a big, strong correlation with colon cancer and vitamin D deficiency. And my dad died of colon cancer. So, you do the maths, as they say. So yeah, vitamin D, really, really important, folks, especially when you're inside all day. Okay. And the other thing I was going to say is when you get your supplements, please, 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 please be very, very careful. Do not buy them from Holland & Barrett unless they're a reputable brand that you see everywhere, like Better You, for example. But the Holland & Barrett brands, mass produced, and I'll be very careful of them. They're full of binders and fillers and not very much of the active ingredient that you need. And because you don't necessarily have the knowledge of the dosage that's required for it to actually have a therapeutic effect, I would stay clear of anything from Holland & Barrett or anything from the supermarket. I would go to a health store. Not that you can at the moment, but you can certainly browse on their websites, Whole Foods, Planet Organic, and your independent health store in your local town. They will all show you the reputable brands. So Cytoplan, excellent. Life Extension, excellent. BioCare, Viridian, those are all really good quality ones. Stay clear of anything in Holland & Barrett. Stay clear of anything in the supermarket. Wellman, Wellwoman, don't trust it at all. And also be very careful of buying stuff on the internet. I think it's a good place to start if you're just getting into this, so you can start to feel the benefits of it. But as you get more and more into taking your health into your own hands, after a year or so, you'll maybe think, maybe I don't want to buy that thing on the internet. I don't really know where it's come from. I don't really trust the source. Go to a reputable brand that you've become familiar with. Okay, gosh, I'm 13 minutes. I'm so sorry I've taken so long with this. Right, I'm going to wrap this up in 2 minutes. So I said vitamin D, vitamin C, really, really important. Normally, absolute no-brainer, you should be taking 1 gram a day of vitamin C. Of course, eat your oranges and pack your smoothie full of your frozen berries and stuff. But as well as that, get your vitamin C in. It's so important for respiratory health, but also for fighting off any other type of infection. It's an antioxidant, essentially. I actually, I really like Now Foods vitamin C or the Nutri Advanced one, because it's a timed release. Normally your body can only assimilate about 300 milligrams at a time, and then it just it excretes it out in your urine. So if you take 1,000 milligrams, which is what you should do, you want to try and go for one that's a timed release. It slowly releases it into your body. And I would be taking 3 or 4 of those a day, like 4 grams, if you can afford to take that much. I actually have gone a step further in my journey. I now take it in liposomal form, which is in liquid form. It's much more absorbable and bioavailable. This one's quite expensive. It's from the States, Seeking Health, but Now Foods, Viridian, BioCare, Nutri Advanced, any of those, Cytoplan, any of those brands, very good quality. So vitamin C, folks, really, really good. Really good. Essential. Okay, so vitamin D3. And I should say about vitamin D3, if I haven't already said this before, make sure it's D3 and not D2. D3 is 80% more bioavailable, but D2 doesn't really do a great deal. Okay, the next one I wanted to mention was magnesium. I think you should all be... oh, no, before I go into magnesium, just very quickly, a multivitamin. Because our food isn't as robust as it should be, we're the cooking methods, the farming methods, the processing methods, and all of that means our raw food, our whole food, is just not what it was. I also take a multivitamin. Now, again, Wellman, Wellwoman, all the ones you get in Holland Barrett and supermarkets, stay clear of them. What's the other one called? Salt? Oh, I can't remember anyway. Go to your health store. You might not find this brand, but you'll get any brand in there is decent. I like Life Extension. There's a European wing and there's an American wing. I really like them because they're really high dose and really good amounts. It means that you don't have to take anything else on top of that typically, because they've got really, really high dose and you've got, excuse me, all the ingredients on the back there. At this stage, you might not necessarily be aware of what the therapeutic dosage should be for your nutrients, but over time, as you get into your health more and you start to take control of it more, you'll start to learn that, you know, it should be 300 milligrams of magnesium that you're having, or 2000 IU of vitamin D3, and or 40 milligrams of zinc. You'll start to know what those amounts are. For now, if you have a good quality multi, you don't need to take anything else. Now, most multis, unfortunately, don't have some of these other things, which is why I'm telling you need to take the D3 separately, the vitamin C separately, because there's not enough of that in the multi. That's why. The other thing is the zinc. I don't think there's enough zinc typically in multis. You want to have at least 20 milligrams, sometimes up to 50 milligrams of zinc. Zinc citrate or zinc piconolate are the ones you want. Again, any of those brands I mentioned, Viridian, BioCare, NutriAdvanced, they all do good ones. And then magnesium. Magnesium is one of the most deficient minerals in our bodies because we're not eating anywhere near as much green veg as we should be, and the green veg that we're eating has got very little nutrients in these days. So magnesium is super, super important. It's super important for muscle health. It's important for your heart health, cardiovascular health, so many different aspects. It calms the nervous system. I found as soon as I started taking magnesium, all the tension in my neck that I used to carry disappeared. I take this at night and I take about 300 milligrams. How much is in this one? There's actually a 500 milligram tab, so this is quite a high dose. But, you know, I'm taking 200, 300 milligrams. Okay, I think that was all I wanted to say. So just to recap, folks, you know, during this weird, crazy time, we're inside the whole time, your nutrition, it has never been more important. And this C19 viral outbreak has highlighted just how important our nutrition is in keeping us healthy and to fight off the risk of infection. Now, hopefully that will then translate into our understanding that it's also incredibly important for our fighting off risk of chronic diseases, heart disease, cancers, etc., which is what it will do if you have good quality nutrition. But for now, there is an acute viral pandemic that's going around. It's killing us, and we can do masses for our immune system that will help you in the future if you continue going with it. Whole food, plant-based diets, foods that have not been processed, that you cooked yourself, that have not come in a packet, in the frozen aisle, for example. Lots of fruits and vegetables. And you want to be supplementing with a good quality multivitamin, good quality, not from Holland Barrett or a supermarket, from one of your local health stores. Try not to buy on Amazon for multiple reasons, but also because you're not quite sure where the source is and where they're getting it from. And you want to be having a, what did I say? Yes, here we are. Vitamin C, really important, 3 to 5 grams a day. And you want having vitamin D3. This is a spray, so either 1,000 to 3,000 IU, about that a day. And magnesium, a couple of 100 milligrams, 200. This is actually 500, but that's okay, a day, because the multi doesn't tend to have enough of those things in. And the final thing I would say is a fish oil. If you're a vegan, that's great, but make sure it's not a fish oil. Then it would be like an algae-based oil. Viridian do a very good vegan equivalent omega-3. But yeah, this is essentially your omega-3, which is an essential fatty acid. You can't get it from anything else but your food. As soon as I started taking fish oil, my brain fog just completely disappeared. I used to really struggle to get sentences out. I still do occasionally, which is why I couldn't even say the word medical industry or whatever it was I was trying to say. As soon as I started taking this, my brain health just went through the roof. So much better. I just wasn't eating enough oily fish, the smash fish. Remember what the smash fish is? Sardines, mackerel, anchovy, herring, and salmon. Get those in a couple of times a week. And if you are a vegan, an algae-based fish oil. Stay healthy, everybody. Thanks for listening. If you've got any comments or anything you want me to talk about, hey, I'm stuck here alone with Ronaldo. So, you know, I could do with saying something. I'm a nutritional therapist, and if you want to ask me any questions, or there's any particular thing that you're interested in that you want me to, you know, share, then I'm more than happy to do so. Say hello, stay healthy, and stay connected.